Have you ever noticed how Tom and Martha from down the street don't hold hands anymore? They've been married for 47 years, but lately when you see them at community gatherings, they sit at opposite ends of the table. Tom seems distant, barely looking at Martha when she speaks. What happens to loving couples after decades together? Why do some men begin pulling away from their wives after turning 60? The truth might surprise you, and it's rarely what most women think. I've spent years talking with hundreds of senior couples, and I've discovered patterns that explain why many marriages grow cold after retirement. The good news? Once you understand these reasons, you can start rebuilding that connection today. In today's video, I'll share 7 honest reasons why men begin to disconnect from their wives after 60. Some of these might be hard to hear, but understanding them could save your relationship or help you recognize what went wrong in past ones. Pay close attention to reason. Number 5. It's something almost no one talks about, but it's the hidden reason behind 80% of senior marriage problems. And if you stay until the end, I'll share a simple 3-minute technique that has helped countless couples in their 70s and 80s feel like newlyweds again. This isn't about placing blame. It's about understanding each other better. So let's dive into the real reasons men start pulling away after 60. Reason number 1, loss of physical intimacy. The first reason many men begin pulling away from their wives after 60 is the decline in physical intimacy, and I'm not just talking about sex. Meet Robert, a 67-year-old retired school teacher. My wife Helen and I used to cuddle every night before bed, he told me. Now she flinches when I touch her shoulder. After a while, you just stop trying. Robert's experience isn't unusual. He misses the closeness they once shared, not just in the bedroom but in everyday life. What's happening here is both emotional and biological. As we age, our bodies change, hormone levels shift, and for women, menopause can cause physical discomfort that makes affection less appealing. Meanwhile, men's need for physical touch often remains strong even as they age. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that touch remains crucial for emotional well-being throughout our entire lives. But here's the solution. Many couples miss communication about new forms of intimacy. Margaret and David, married for 52 years, found their way back to each other by establishing a nightly connection ritual. For 15 minutes each evening, they sit together holding hands while sharing the best part of their day. It's not what we had in our 40s, Margaret laughs, but it keeps us close in a different way. The key is finding comfortable ways to maintain physical connection, whether it's morning hugs, holding hands during walks, or gentle back rubs. Start small and be patient. Ask your husband what kinds of touch make him feel loved, and share what works for you too. Have you noticed this happening in your relationship? Has physical affection decreased over the years? Type touch in the comments if you've experienced this change and share how you've addressed it. Your insight might help someone else who's struggling. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you are here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Reason number 2, retirement identity crisis. The second reason men often drift away from their wives after 60 is what experts call the retirement identity crisis. James retired at 65 after running his own plumbing business for over 40 years. The first month felt like vacation, he told me. By the 3rd month, I was lost. I didn't know who I was anymore. His wife, Barbara, became the target of his frustration. She seemed to have her life together. Her friends, her garden club, her routines. I resented her for having a purpose when I had none. What's happening here is deeply psychological. For decades, many men build their identity around their work and provider role. When retirement comes, they suddenly lose the structure and purpose that define them. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that men are 40% more likely than women to struggle with depression after retirement, largely due to this loss of identity. Meanwhile, many women have spent years balancing multiple roles, as mothers, homemakers, and often working outside the home too. They've typically built stronger social networks and diverse interests that carry them through the retirement transition more smoothly. The solution requires patience and partnership. Eleanor and Richard overcame this challenge when Eleanor helped Richard explore new interests without pressure. I didn't try to schedule his life, Eleanor explains. Instead, I asked if he'd join me in trying one new activity each month. Some stuck, some didn't, but it gave us adventures together. If your husband is struggling with this transition, try these approaches. First, acknowledge his feelings without trying to fix everything. Second, explore new activities together rather than separately. Third, encourage him to mentor others using his lifetime of skills, whether that's teaching neighborhood kids about woodworking or volunteering with other retirees. Has your husband struggled to find his footing after retirement? Has his mood or attitude toward you changed during this transition? Type purpose in the comments if this resonates with your experience, and share what has helped in your relationship. Reason number 3, communication styles growing further apart. The third reason men often pull away from their wives after 60 is that communication styles tend to grow further apart with age. Clara and Henry have been married for 49 years. We used to finish each other's sentences, Clara sighs. Now I'll talk about something for 5 minutes and realize Henry hasn't heard a word. When I ask what he thinks, he just grunts and says, "Whatever you want." This leaves Clara feeling ignored, while Henry feels overwhelmed by what he calls too many words. The science behind this is fascinating. Research shows that men and women often process communication differently as they age. Women typically maintain strong verbal processing skills and often use conversation to work through emotions and strengthen bonds. Men, on the other hand, may become more action-oriented in their communication, preferring to discuss concrete problems and solutions rather than feelings and experiences. These natural differences can become more pronounced after 60, creating a widening gap where both partners feel misunderstood and frustrated. Martha and Frank found a solution that works for them. "We established communication rules," Martha explains. "When I need to talk something through emotionally, I ask for 15 minutes of listening time where Frank knows his job is just to hear me out. When Frank needs to discuss something, he lets me know if he's looking for solutions or just sharing information. This simple system helps them match expectations." Try creating your own communication rituals. Schedule regular check-in times when you both share the highs and lows of your week. Use the speaker-listener technique, where one person holds an object while speaking and the other can't interrupt until the object is passed. And remember to appreciate your different styles. They complemented each other enough to build a decades-long relationship. Does your husband seem to shut down when you try to talk? Have conversations become more difficult over the years? Type "talk" in the comments if you've noticed this communication gap growing, and share any techniques that have helped bridge it. Reason number 4, unresolved resentments surface after retirement. The fourth reason men begin disconnecting from their wives after 60 is that retirement brings time to finally feel all those small resentments that built up over decades. Donald and Joyce seem like the perfect couple. 3 kids, beautiful home, active in their church, but 6 months after Donald's retirement, he could barely stay in the same room with Joyce. All these feelings I'd pushed down for years while I was working suddenly had space to come up. Donald admits, "That time she embarrassed me at my company party in 1992. The way she undermined my parenting decisions with our kids. All the little hurts I never had time to process." What's happening psychologically is that careers often serve as distractions from relationship issues. The busy pace of raising families and building careers leaves little time to address emotional wounds. But after 60, when the house empties and careers wind down, couples suddenly have hours to sit with unspoken frustrations. Studies from relationship researchers show that unaddressed resentments can remain emotionally potent for decades, and men are particularly likely to store these feelings rather than process them in real time. Evelyn and Raymond found healing through a ritual they call clearing the air. Once a month, they each write down one old hurt they're ready to release. They share these with each other, acknowledge the pain caused even unintentionally, and symbolically let it go by tearing up the paper. "It's not about blame," Evelyn says. "It's about finally being seen and heard." If unresolved resentments are poisoning your relationship, consider these steps. First, create a safe space to discuss old hurts without interruption or defensiveness. Second, focus on understanding rather than defending. Third, seek professional help if the wounds run too deep for you to navigate alone. Many counselors now specialize in senior relationships. The beautiful thing about addressing old resentments is that it can lead to deeper intimacy than you've ever experienced before. Have you noticed your husband bringing up old conflicts now that you have more time together? Does he seem to harbor grudges from years ago? Type healing in the comments if you've experienced this surfacing of old hurts, and share how you've worked through them. Reason number 5, health concerns creating emotional barriers. The 5th reason, and this is the hidden one I promised, is that health concerns often create invisible emotional barriers between couples after 60. Walter never told his wife Susan about his heart palpitations. "I didn't want her to worry," he explained. "But then I started pulling away physically because I was afraid of having an episode during intimacy. Soon I was avoiding all closeness. Susan thought I didn't love her anymore, but really I was terrified of becoming a burden." What's happening here touches on something deeply human: dignity and fear. As health issues emerge, whether it's prostate problems, heart conditions, cognitive changes, or mobility issues, many men retreat emotionally rather than show vulnerability. Medical research confirms that men are significantly less likely than women to discuss health concerns with their partners, often waiting until conditions become advanced before seeking help. This silence creates a terrible cycle. The man withdraws to hide his health fears. The wife interprets this as rejection, and the emotional distance grows just when support is needed most. Diane and Gerald broke this cycle when Diane noticed Gerald avoiding their regular walks. Instead of assuming he was losing interest in their time together, she gently said, "I've noticed a change and I'm concerned. Whatever's happening, we can face it together." Her non-accusatory approach opened the door for Gerald to admit his knee pain and fear of needing surgery. If you suspect health concerns might be causing your husband to withdraw, try these approaches. Create regular, pressure-free opportunities to discuss health by sharing your own checkup results first. Emphasize partnership over caregiving. "We'll handle this together" feels different than "I'll take care of you." And most importantly, respect his pace in coming to terms with health changes. The most beautiful marriages I've witnessed in couples, married 50+ years, share this quality. They face health challenges as a united team, maintaining dignity while offering support. This might be the most important question I asked today. Have you noticed your husband withdrawing after health scares or doctor visits? Has he become more distant as physical challenges emerge? Type health in the comments if this resonates with your experience. Your story might help another couple break through this silent barrier. Reason number 6, different approaches to aging. The 6th reason men often pull away from their wives after 60 is that they frequently develop completely different approaches to aging. Helen and Albert, married for 54 years, found themselves arguing constantly after retirement. Helen has this bucket list a mile long, Albert explains: cruises, dance classes, volunteering. "She's busier than when she worked. I just want to relax and enjoy our home after working for 45 years. Helen counters, "I'm afraid of wasting our good years." Albert acts like we have forever, but we don't. What's happening here reflects different psychological responses to aging. Research from gerontologists shows that people typically respond to aging in one of 2 ways: either embracing new experiences with urgency, the time is running out mindset, or becoming more selective about energy expenditure, the quality over quantity approach. When spouses land on opposite ends of this spectrum, conflict naturally emerges. One partner pushes for activity and new experiences, while the other pulls back, seeking comfort and familiar pleasures. The difference isn't about love, it's about how we each make peace with the passing of time. Shirley and Victor found middle ground by creating what they call their yes-no calendar. Each month, they each get to schedule 3 activities the other must join enthusiastically. The remaining days, they either do things separately or find low-key activities they both enjoy. "It's not perfect," Shirley admits, "but we both feel respected now." If you and your husband have different approaches to this stage of life, try establishing clear expectations about activity levels. Create a rhythm that honors both perspectives, days of adventure balanced with days of rest. Most importantly, avoid the trap of believing your approach is the right one. There's wisdom in both embracing new experiences and savoring familiar comforts. Remember that respecting each other's approach to aging is ultimately about honoring who you've each become after decades of life experience. Do you and your husband clash over how to spend your retirement years? Does he seem to resist your plans or withdraw from activities you suggest? Type time in the comments if you're navigating different approaches to aging, and share how you found compromise. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, Please comment number 6 below to let me know you are here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Reason number 7, financial stress and changing dynamics. The 7th reason men often distance themselves from their wives after 60 involves a topic many couples find uncomfortable to discuss: money and the changing financial dynamics of retirement. Edward and Patricia's relationship changed dramatically after retirement. "I always handled our finances," Edward explains. Suddenly, Patricia was questioning every purchase, checking the accounts daily, suggesting cheaper alternatives for everything. "I felt like she didn't trust me anymore, like my financial judgment meant nothing now that my paycheck was gone." What's happening here is both practical and deeply emotional. Retirement often brings financial constraints, just as couples have more time to spend money on travel, hobbies, or helping family. This creates natural tension. At the same time, the power dynamics shift. The primary earner no longer brings in regular income, and decisions must be more collaborative. Research from financial psychologists shows that money conflicts among retired couples often aren't actually about dollars. They're about control, security, and feeling valued. Betty and Howard developed a system that saved their relationship. "We have 3 accounts now," Betty shares. "Our main account for bills and necessities that we manage together, plus we each get a personal account with an agreed monthly amount. Howard can buy his woodworking tools, and I can take my painting classes, no questions asked." If financial tensions are causing your husband to withdraw, consider these approaches. Schedule regular, short financial discussions at a set time, not in the bedroom or during meals. Create a clear spending plan that includes both necessary expenses and personal discretionary funds. Most importantly, acknowledge the emotional aspects of financial changes. Many men tie their self-worth to providing, and retirement can shake this foundation. Remember that successful couples view money as a tool to support their shared values, not as a scorecard or source of power. Have financial concerns created tension in your relationship since retirement? Does your husband seem defensive or withdrawn when money topics arise? Type finances in the comments if this resonates with your experience, and share any solutions you've discovered. As we've explored these 7 reasons men begin to disconnect from their wives after 60, I hope you've recognized that what feels like rejection often has deeper roots in health concerns, identity struggles, communication differences, and the natural challenges of growing older together. The most important thing to remember is this: understanding these patterns doesn't mean accepting disconnection as inevitable. In fact, many couples find that their relationship after 60 becomes richer and more fulfilling than ever before, but only if they're willing to adapt and grow together. Think about which of these reasons might be affecting your relationship. Is it health concerns he's not discussing? Different approaches to how you want to spend your golden years? Or perhaps unresolved feelings, finally surfacing now that life has slowed down? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. Which of these reasons resonated most with your situation? What strategies have you tried that have helped bring back the connection in your relationship? If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Every subscription helps us continue creating content that supports seniors and building meaningful relationships that last. And if you know someone who might benefit from this information, please share this video with them. Remember, it's never too late to rebuild connection. Many of the strongest marriages I've witnessed found their deepest bond after age 70. Your best years together might still be ahead of you. Until next time, keep loving and learning together.